The power of an obsession. You refuse to quit. There is a force buried deep inside the few. A force that doesn't sleep when the world does. A fire that doesn't dim when the odds rise. An obsession that refuses to quit. This isn't about a passing dream. This is about a hunger so ferocious, it eats failure for fuel. A focus so sharp, it cuts through fear, through rejection, through years of silence and setback. This is the power of an obsession you refuse to quit. Not because it's convenient, but because it is you. Look around you. Everything you touch was born from the mind of an obsessed man or woman. Every bridge, every skyscraper, every book, every invention, every empire began in the darkness of an idea no one else believed in. No one, except the one who refused to let it go. You don't need permission. You need possession. To be possessed by a purpose so deep it crawls into your bones. To let it take you over. To carry it into the night like Thomas Edison, burning through 1,000 failures. Because the only thing worse than failing was stopping. He didn't invent the light bulb. He obsessed it into existence. Henry Ford, mocked, ridiculed, dismissed. Impossible, they said. A motor car for the masses. They laughed. Until his obsession paved the road they now drive on. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. They didn't see what he saw. They saw a mouse. He saw a kingdom. What do you see that no one else does? Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. Success isn't about balance. It's not about calm mornings and tidy schedules. It's about chaos you learn to dance with. It's about going all in. So deep, the world labels you crazy. So loud, the dream keeps you up at night whispering, more. Go again. We're not done. They will call it obsession. Let them. Because what they call obsession, you will call destiny. There comes a moment, a line in the sand, when you stop asking for permission to dream. You stop waiting for support, applause, or validation. You declare war on your old life, and swear an oath to the life buried inside you. From that point on, you don't pursue success. You chase it down like a wolf in the cold. Because you realize, every second you're not obsessed, someone else is. Someone else is getting sharper, hungrier, faster. And you were born with a mountain inside you. But you've been walking like you belong in the valley. You don't. The people who change this world, they're not lucky. They're possessed. Their eyes don't wander. Their minds don't drift. They hold one vision so tight, the universe has no choice but to respond. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the season to play small. This is not the life to die wondering. This is your obsession, and it's not going anywhere until you answer it. So let the world call you crazy. Let them roll their eyes. Let them whisper behind closed doors. They always do, until you win. Because obsession isn't a weakness. It's the birthplace of mastery. They'll say, you've changed. You say, damn right. You've changed the standard. Change the pace. Change the future. You don't dabble. You dominate. You don't try. You decide. You don't hope. You build. You want balance. Then stay average. You want a legacy. Then bleed for it. There are no shortcuts. No hacks. No miracles. Only a vision so clear, so consuming, that it devours every excuse in its path. You think Carnegie built steel empires by being casual. You think Rockefeller rose to the top by hoping. No, they saw what others couldn't. And they refused to stop chasing it until the world bent to their will. That's not ambition. That's obsession. Fueled by purpose, forged in discipline, and fired in rejection. You don't break through by being like everyone else. You break through by refusing to be. You become the one who keeps going after 10 years with no applause. Who keeps showing up when no one is watching. Who stays late, rises early, bleeds quietly. You become the one who won't let go. Because obsession is not noise. It's silence that roars. It's the quiet discipline when no one's looking. It's the dream you protect when doubt creeps in. It's the whisper that says, again, after every failure. It's not luck. It's grit with a vision. You must learn to outlast the silence. To trust the vision when the results don't show up yet. To keep hammering when all you've got is calloused hands and faith. To keep painting the picture with nothing but belief. Michelangelo didn't see a block of marble. He saw David inside it. And he chipped away, until the world saw it too. That's obsession. Not for the faint-hearted. Not for the weekend warriors. Not for the comfort seekers. This is for the obsessed. The ones who wake up already behind because their dream is racing ahead. The ones who can't breathe unless they're building. The ones who would rather die chasing the impossible than live safe inside the ordinary. And let me tell you this. You are not here to live ordinary. You are not here to blend in. You are not here to survive. You are here to become, to rise, to conquer, to lead, to create something so magnetic, so undeniable, that when you leave this world, the world feels it. But none of that happens until you let go of moderation, of hesitation, of waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There is only now, and the obsession you refuse to quit. Your excuses, irrelevant. Your background, doesn't matter. Your pain, use it. Your setbacks, fuel. Because this is the part no one tells you. Obsession will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you approval. It will cost you balance. It may cost you people. But what it gives back is identity, power, impact, immortality. You don't just build a dream. It builds you. It chisels you into the man or woman you were born to be. It breaks your weakness, tests your patience, and crushes your doubt. And in its place, it leaves something terrifying, unstoppable. People won't understand it. They'll ask why you care so much. Why you keep going. Why you're so intense. Why you won't just chill. And you'll look them in the eyes. And you'll say, because I saw something they didn't. And I'd rather die chasing it, than live never knowing what it could have been. That's obsession. And if you're lucky enough to have one, don't apologize. Don't hide it. Don't water it down. Fan the flames. Feed the fire. Turn the noise off and the volume of your vision all the way up. And don't quit. Because obsession doesn't reward the interested. It crowns the relentless. You see, life doesn't reward those who dabble. It doesn't hand out greatness to the lukewarm. It bows, only, before the possessed. The man with a casual interest is outworked by the man with an obsession. The one who's trying is destroyed by the one who's committed. Because obsession doesn't clock out. It doesn't take weekends. It doesn't stop when it hurts. It starts there. Let the doubters whisper. Let the critics bark from the sidelines. You don't need their cheers. You don't need their approval. You need your vision. Burning, relentless, untouchable. Obsessed people aren't normal. They don't think like the rest. They don't operate at the same temperature. They are on fire inside. And they do not wait for the world to catch up. Because they know this truth. The world changes for the one who refuses to let go. It bends. It adjusts. It rearranges itself. Not for the curious, but for the committed. And when you're obsessed, you stop asking if you're ready. You decide. You move. You act before the fear has a chance to speak. There's a war raging inside every person who has ever dared to become more. A war between who they were, and who they're destined to be. And the only way to win is obsession, not discipline alone, not goals, not vision boards, but a non-negotiable identity. A soul-deep refusal to back down. Obsession is what turns discipline into devotion, pain into progress, rejection into redirection. You don't quit when you're obsessed. You adjust. You adapt. You evolve. You crawl if you must. You scream if you need to. But you keep showing up. You show up tired. You show up broke. You show up broken. You show up doubted, mocked, abandoned. But you show up. Because you're not doing it for the world's applause. You're doing it because you can't not do it. You're doing it because the thing inside you is louder than the world outside you. That's when you know you're on the path. When your purpose becomes louder than your pain. History will forget the comfortable. It will forget the balanced, the cautious, the reasonable. But it will never forget the obsessed. The ones who walked through the fire without flinching. The ones who turned their scars into symbols. The ones who weren't willing to let their dream die in theory. You were not made to coast. You were not designed for smallness. There's royalty in your blood. But it only rises when called. And obsession is the call. You want to know the difference between ordinary and legendary. Obsession. The difference between a name in the credits and a name in the history books. Obsession. Between existing and eternity. Obsession. And if the world ever tells you to calm down, to settle, to be realistic, you look them dead in the eye and say, realistic doesn't build revolutions. Obsessed men do. So don't quit. Don't pause. Don't dilute your vision to make others comfortable. Let them be disturbed. Let them be confused. Let them misunderstand. Your future isn't built by them. It's built by you. And every second you spend apologizing for your hunger is a second you rob your destiny. Because destiny does not come knocking politely. It does not wait for your confidence to catch up. It waits for your conviction. And conviction doesn't whisper, it roars. It shows up in your eyes when you're dead tired but still lacing up. It bleeds from your knuckles when you've hit the wall, but hit it again anyway. It echoes in the silence when no one believes in you. But you believe anyway. Let them call you obsessed. Let them say you're doing too much. Let them roll their eyes while you roll up your sleeves. Because while they sleep in comfort, you are forging greatness in the fire of your discomfort. You are the blacksmith of your own becoming. You hold the hammer. You swing it with vision, not just strength. Because obsession isn't random. It's targeted, intentional, surgical. You're not chasing everything. You're chasing the one thing. That one vision you can't shake. That one purpose you wake up thinking about. The idea that refuses to die, because it was never yours to kill. It was planted in you for a reason. And that reason is your responsibility. People think obsession is dangerous. And they're right, because once it takes over, you'll never be the same again. You'll see time differently, energy differently, sleep differently. You'll crave progress more than comfort. You'll chase clarity more than applause. You'll sacrifice mediocrity like a lamb on the altar. Because you refuse to live average. You don't flirt with your dream. You marry it. You commit when no one is watching. You hustle when the crowd has left. You speak life into it when the world stays silent. That's what separates those who talk from those who transform. Every giant you admire, every icon, every trailblazer, was once just a madman with an idea no one understood. But they didn't need to be understood. They needed to be obsessed. They knew something most people will never realize. Obsession is the secret portal to immortality. Not in name alone, but in impact, in influence, in the ripples you cause long after you're gone. Because when you're obsessed, you're not just building success. You're building a legacy. You're writing your name in brick and time. You're leaving behind proof that one life, lived with unwavering obsession, can change the course of millions. And maybe, just maybe, that's what scares people the most. Not that you'll fail, but that you'll succeed so loudly. It forces them to question why they never began. So give them something to talk about. Give them a fire they can't explain. Let your work echo. Let your presence shake rooms. Let your vision burn holes through limitations. Because you weren't sent here to live in chains. You were sent here to set fire to the boundaries of what's possible. And all of it, begins with one choice. To stop treating your dream like an option. And start treating it like an obligation. Because when it becomes an obligation, everything changes. You stop looking for motivation. You start operating from duty. You stop needing external fire, because the flame inside you becomes eternal. You stop quitting. You stop waiting. You stop doubting. And you start becoming. You become precise, dangerous, relentless. You become the storm that doesn't pass. You become the storm that reshapes the land it hits. That is the power of obsession you refuse to quit. You think Michael Jordan was born with a switch flipped on. No, he flipped it himself, every single day. When he was cut from his high school team. When he trained in empty gyms. When he practiced the same shot until his body screamed. Obsession showed up, and that obsession turned the name, Jordan, from a boy in North Carolina, to an eternal standard of greatness. Do you want to be a name that passes through time? Or do you want to be a standard that time remembers? Because the difference is simple. The obsessed do not leave their lives to chance. They build it, one day, one grind, one sacrifice at a time. The pain you're running from, they run toward it, because they know pain is temporary. But quitting is forever. And most people, they quit long before they stop breathing. They quit on their purpose. They bury their calling under comfort. They trade their potential for permission. But not you. You've seen the other side. You've tasted the vision. And once you do, once that seed is planted in your spirit, there's no going back. There's no balance to return to. There's no comfort that can compete. There's no ordinary that fits anymore. You outgrow your old life the way a lion outgrows a cage. And obsession becomes your freedom. Yes, it costs you. But you stop counting the cost. Because all that matters is the mission. And the mission is not money. It's not followers. It's not claps, likes, or noise. The mission is to become the person you were sent here to be. To make real what only you can see. To die empty. To leave nothing undone. And if that doesn't scare you a little, you're dreaming too small. This world is built by the unreasonable. The ones who show up early and stay late. The ones who fail forward, again and again. The ones who trade comfort for conviction. Fear for fire. And logic for legacy. Because obsession is not logical. It doesn't make sense to the masses. It's not safe. It's not linear. It is divine. It is the hand of purpose grabbing you by the collar, shaking the sleep out of your soul, and dragging you toward the life that's been waiting for you to wake up. This is your wake-up call. This is the knock on your chest. This is the crack of thunder in your bones. Obsess like your life depends on it, because it does. There will come a day when your body is tired, when your voice is hoarse, when your hands are worn, and your path is lonely. But on that day, you will look in the mirror. And you will not see regret. You will not see, what if. You will not see a man who backed down from the mountain. You will see a force. A soul that stood face to face with fear and did not flinch. A warrior who chose purpose over peace. And legacy over life. Because when obsession lives in you, death itself becomes irrelevant. Your work, your words, your fire. It continues long after your body turns to dust. The Wright brothers never flew just to defy gravity. They flew because they were obsessed with showing humanity what was possible. And now, we cross oceans in hours. Martin Luther King didn't march for comfort. He marched because something burned too deeply to stay silent. That was not a speech. That was obsession spoken aloud. You see, the moment you surrender to your obsession, the moment you stop apologizing for how deeply you care, the moment you stop dimming your light to make others feel safe, that is the moment the world starts to shift around you. People will hate you for it. They will envy you. They will misunderstand you. They will need you. Because people don't follow the loudest voice. They follow the clearest purpose. And obsession carves clarity into the chaos of life. It sharpens your days. It slices away distraction. It replaces luck with law, the law of cause and effect. You show up like a hammer. You swing like your life depends on it. You hit the same spot again, and again, and again. Until it breaks. And it will break. It always breaks for the obsessed. Because the universe doesn't ignore a soul that refuses to stop. You were not made to flirt with greatness. You were made to marry it. And marriage takes everything. You sacrifice. You endure. You suffer. You rise. And in the end, you don't just live a successful life. You live a life that awakens others. That's what obsession does. It multiplies. It echoes. It inspires others to feel what they forgot they were capable of. So burn, my friend. Burn so bright you blind the eyes of doubt. Burn so hot your fears evaporate. Burn so loud the world can no longer ignore your voice. This is your obsession. It chose you for a reason. You are not crazy. You are not extreme. You are not too much. You are exactly what this world needs. A soul on fire. A mind unshaken. A will unbroken. And when they ask what made the difference, when they ask how you did it, when they ask how you rose when others quit, you won't say luck. You won't say timing. You won't say talent. You'll look them in the eyes. And you'll say, I was obsessed. And I refused to quit. Because in the end, it's not about applause. It's not about riches stacked in your name. It's not about how many people followed you. It's about this. Did you follow through? Did you answer the call? Did you honor the obsession that was put in you before you ever drew your first breath? Because there's a truth few will ever face. We were all called, but only the obsessed respond. Only the obsessed build. Only the obsessed become. And you were never meant to die full. You were meant to pour yourself out completely. To exhaust every ounce of your potential. To leave this world with nothing left in the tank. That's why you can't quit. That's why you won't quit. Because something inside you knows. There's more to you than what they see. More than even you have touched. There's another level. Another fire. Another dimension of you that can only be unlocked through relentless obsession. So this is your stand. This is your decision. This is the vow you make to the man or woman in the mirror. Not to try. Not to wish. But to become. You will go all in. You will lose sleep. You will lose people. You will lose comfort. But you will find yourself. You will wake up one day and see the mountain you climbed. And you will know, not one step was wasted. Not one scar was meaningless. Not one sleepless night was in vain. Because it wasn't just about the goal. It was about who you became chasing it. And that was the prize all along. So let this voice echo in your chest every time doubt creeps in. Every time life hits. Every time the world says, slow down. You say, no, I have work to do. I have a fire to feed. I have a legacy to build. And I am not done yet. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break through. You were not meant to taste the dream. You were meant to devour it. And no storm, no setback, no silence will stop you. Because you hold within you the rarest of all forces. The power of an obsession you refuse to quit. And that power changes everything.